love song. Can I call you Rose? Can I call you a darling? Can I call you my friend? Well, you know how it goes on Isla and Friends Live. I bring people I call friends to the show. People I like to call friends, I bring them to the show. People I adore, I bring them to the show. People I'm interested in what they do, admire what they do, respect what they do. Those are the people I bring to Isla and Friends Live. And it is my absolute pleasure to welcome another friend, someone I admire a lot, someone I respect a lot to Isla and Friends Life this beautiful afternoon. It's Wednesday, 29th of January 2025. And you know how we do it. Every Wednesday, 12 noon, we meet here on GoComRadio.ie on Isla and Friends. I want you to welcome with me Moradeun Oduwole. She's a devoted wife, mother, entrepreneur, an experienced community pharmacist who has spent over a decade making meaningful impact in the healthcare sector here in Ireland. But Moradeun is much more than being a pharmacist, working in the community, being a more than being a mom, being more than being a mother or a wife. She's also a health and wellness expert. She's an educator. She's a coach with deep passion, with a deep passion for helping individuals achieve their holistic well-being. She believes that through healthy living, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, we can all reach a balance. We can reach a fulfilled life, and we can be who we are, especially as women. Through our entrepreneurial journey, she has dedicated herself to empowering women, providing women with tools they need to lead impactful life, embracing their unique journey, and thriving every day. And these are the things we are going to be talking about today. We are going to talk a lot about, I believe in wellness, women empowerment. We are going to talk about her background, her beginning, how all of this started for her, the impact she's making, and the purpose and the progress she's aiming to achieve. These are the things we are going to talk about today on Isla and Friends. And I want you to hear the voice of this beautiful, amazing woman, Moradeun Oduwole. Roll the drum.
Wow, thank you so much, Slimia.
Hello,
Thank you
Moradeun. I
so
can't
much.
hear you.
Oh
I'm rolling the
no.
drum right now. Yes.
Rolling the drum. Is it better now?
Perfect. It is.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I am so grateful and honored to be part of this. When I got your invite, I was just smiling because I was just like, wow. I just thinking about our journey, where we start, how I got connected with you, and now I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I call you Ma Islamia, so permit me on the show. I have to continue that way, Ma
No,
Islamia.
ma, just Lamia is fine.
I see you. You mentioned there's so many things, and like I just love how our friendship is blossoming. I see you as my mentor, just someone who is just doing impactful things for womanhood, for the community, and I'm so grateful to be a part. And thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Moradeon. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, and the honor is all mine. I
Thank
know
you.
you are a pharmacist, but
Yes.
and you are also an holistic health and wellness expert. You are into women development. You are a mom and you are a wife. Can you let us into your journey? how it started. Did you know you are going to be all of that right from age 2? Or something happened and you are like, okay, you know what, this is a gap. I'm going to fill it. I'm going to put all of me into it and I'm going to make impact. How did it start for you and what is your why?
Wow, wow, wow. Um,
Um,
I would
I would
say
say
so.
so.
Okay, this
Okay.
this question is loaded. So I would say it's really loaded. So I would say how it all started. It really, I've always been interested in healthcare. I love people. I would say if I was to really reel it all back and really actually observe the time frame where it all started
What
is,
it is.
when you're
Yeah,
doing work
the
experience. So in
so
the
in
school you
school
do
you
work
do work
experience.
experience. Um,
And during the
during
period
the
of
period
where
of
it's time for me to figure out, okay, what I want to do for my career, I thought I actually wanted to be in the finance sector. So I was pursuing that. But then I soon realized, okay, the grades needed to go into that. I don't think I'm going to meet them. And excuse me, and that actually is interesting because I limited myself even before I even got the grades. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, I wanted to be in the finance sector. But then I knew I at the time I was like, okay, well, I won't get the grades to actually get into this particular finance space. Let me um let me look into health. And I think overall my main thing was I want to go into a career that will give me a guaranteed job. If I'm being honest, I wanted to do something that will give me a guaranteed job. I think it was. I'm not sure if my mum taught me that or if I re- if I really
I
look
think
back and
it's your generation, like you want to make money.
yeah, it's like I've always just been, yeah, just money minded, money focused. So I've always been someone who's like, okay, come rain, come sunshine. I think, yeah, if I think about it, I would say it stems from my family and my background because my father, God bless his soul, passed away when I was 12. And my mum has been a single mother since, and I've seen how hard
Mm.
she's worked, and she probably wouldn't have achieved all these things if she also wasn't working or in that position where she
Hard
can fend for
working.
herself. She wasn't a woman who just relied on her husband. She's always been someone who's worked. So I think for that, I kind of took those traits was, okay, well, I see what it's like without a dad. So I need to be able to fend for myself regardless of the situation. If it's snowing, if it's raining, I need a job that can secure me. So I realized that finance wasn't the way for, at that time because I didn't get the grades or I didn't think I could get the grades. I didn't even try. So I said, well, what's the next best thing? Healthcare. I said, okay, let me be a doctor. I then realized, okay, blood, blood. I didn't mind the sight of blood, but I didn't. Again, I limited myself. I was like, okay, well, if I'm a doctor, I'll be seeing too much blood. I don't think I want to go into doctor. And then I did a work experience in a pharmacy, and this beautiful pharmacist who at the time owned her own pharmacy, she allowed me to do work experience there for 2 weeks, and I loved it. And she actually employed me to be like, the counter assistants. She kept me on to be like a counter assistant. So every day after school, in after in age 16, 17, I'll go to her work to her shop after school for just 2 hours, 3 hours, and work. So I've kind of always been entrepreneurial, or will I say just involved with health or business from a young age, I would say.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's where it all kind of started from in terms of my career into pharmacy and health. And because I love people and I loved the lifestyle of this particular community pharmacist, I said, okay, I think I can do this. Let me go into this. And that's where the journey began into pharmacy.
Okay.
So um if
Um,
if we want to leave it at the my journey into pharmacy and health, that's where it started from. And I would
okay.
add the fact that my father passing away, and he sadly passed away due to cancer. I also have been also intrigued in health because I saw firsthand the effects of, the treatment of cancer, the treatment, the post treatment of, you know being someone who's in now in respite. And so I've always just been that kind of person who's just like, okay, well, how can I help people to improve on their health and status, so they don't have to go that way. Sorry, this is just, even just thinking about this now, it's kind of just like, wow. And this is all at a young age. This was all, at a tender age of, we're saying 15, 16. So
Mm.
yeah, that's kind of shaped, the reason. So in terms of my why, I would say that what fuels me is, yeah, everything that I've said is just that how I grew up, not wanting to be with, like, lack because, oh, a certain family member, a certain individual is no longer around. I still need to be able to survive. So it's probably those survival instincts coupled with just wanting to improve on people's lives, because that's about legacy as well. I saw the importance of legacy of my dad passing away at me being a young age, and especially being a firstborn. I saw the impact of legacy. When someone passes away, what memories do you have of them? And if the legacy was good, and you really it will still stand despite them not being around. um and just in general, I think my why is really fueled around what life is like when you're no more. I know this sounds a bit, it might not sound as like, as I don't know how to say it, but as happy, but it really is what kind of
It's
drives me in a
factual.
way.
Factual.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like I like that you are keeping it really real. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Because at the and I don't know, maybe it's the Nigerian in me as well, because we're kind of a bit go getters, just just also just ready to just do more, and just kind of, just very ambitious. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that really factual, insightful, letting us into your background and your why. And like twice you talked about limiting yourself, and
Mm.
uh, here you are today. You cannot even be limited. And will that be why you're like, okay, I know how it felt to, or how it feels to limit oneself and not want it to go on? At the same time, not contradicting each other, but also wanting to be more. And you talk about that legacy, and seeing your mom as a single parent, and how so much hard work she put into putting food on the table, raising you, sending you to school, and all of that. Would that have inspired why you want to pull women along, encourage women, empower women, and coach women to be more, to do more? Or would there be other reason for, like, did you see women limiting themselves? Or do you think that, okay, for me, because of my mom or legacy, I think every woman should be in this direction, think this way? What is the reason why you are into, women development, coaching, and empowerment and stuff?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. And again, this is a very robust question, but to break it down, I would say, well, firstly, I'm a woman, so therefore I resonate a lot more with the female gender more than male gender. I understand what it is to be in certain shoes, so to be female, to be, a wife, to be a mother, to be a friend, a sister. I understand that, because that is me, that's who I am organically. um Having said that, I would say where it really kind of stemmed from is, naturally, I actually I love sisterhood. I believe that, I don't believe in a narrative that of, okay, let's just say, or stereotypes of, obviously, I represent as, well, the terms, the terminology is black, but I represent as a black woman and I'm from the diaspora, so I'm from African heritage. So there's a typical narrative that is, angry black woman or aggressive black woman. I don't. So my point is I don't necessarily believe that to be so. I believe I believe in sisterhood. I believe in community, and where it really drove this woman of impact and all the things that I'm involved in drives from is there's a lot of negative stigma to women, and more of us need to actually showcase the positive, because there is a lot of positive um in sisterhood is so important. And again, it comes back to my past as I was the only child for a very long time. My mum had me, and then my siblings came when I was maybe like 9. So I saw what it was like to have no sister, no brother. And then when my sister came along, literally my world was different. So I really have a good relationship with my sister, and sister. So sisterhood to me is very important. It's very strong, and then extending it out as extending the olive branches as women, we should see relate with ourselves in a sisterhood. Really, just coming together to empower, to inspire, because we go through so much as females, which we need to actually uplift it and encourage each other more than tear each other down. When they say that, oh, girls, girls are gossiping, girls, I don't believe that to be true. I think again, it's all just maybe a lack of skill sets to deal with certain situations. So I say that to say this. So I've spoken about the fact that sisterhood is so important. Um, and then going back again to my childhood, yes, I saw my mum, work really, really hard. So again, that fueled to me to say, okay, well, women can actually, it's again coming from a background of African backgrounds where there's a lot of um, misogyny. There's a lot of, because you're a woman, you can't do this. Because you're a woman, you can't do that. And there's so many women still even in 2025 who don't have this financial freedom, depend on their husbands for everything, and you know then when their husbands aren't around, they're left desolate, and their children, like all that kind of thing. And it's like, well, actually, no, actually we can do better. Yes, your husband, or however, you believe your husband to be the leader, or this and this and this and that. Yes, he can be that, but you can still do stuff for yourself. And actually is awakening women up, because a lot of women, still within themselves have that limiting belief. Um, I could go on, but I think I'll stop there.
Thank you. It's fascinating listening to you. It's always like that. You're very brilliant. I learn a lot from you every day, and I'm not surprised. But and I believe my listeners are now you know what I enjoy being Moradeun's friend. You talked about sisterhood, and I
Yeah.
want to ask you if I want to see your perspective. If you actually believe if it is hard in the sense that sisterhood, like you eventually go there because you mentioned women pulling themselves down, not supporting each other. But in the other hand, it is also very important for women to come together and strengthen one another, because when we're united, when we are together, it is always like stronger. It's like trying to lift something with like this cup now. I want to lift it with a one hand. Probably if it is heavier and I'm able to lift it with two hands, it's going to be
Yes.
better. But there's always
Yes.
this, the notion, or I don't, I'm looking for the word for it now. Narrative that okay, you women, you are just too much, and when you come
Mm,
together, you fight, and it is not easy for women to come together and stay together. Give them 3 years, they are going to fight. Everything is going to
mm,
scatter, and
mm.
what is your view? What has been your experience? Are women really easy to deal with, or are there reasons for this? And if there are reasons for this, is there something we can do about it?
Okay, so what comes to mind when you say that is I can think of all so many experiences. And it's kind of, I'm smiling because I'm like, oh God, if I think of all the things that I've been involved in, how bad it would be. But you see, that's the beauty of wisdom and maturing and, really working on yourself as well.
Mm,
Okay, so I will answer this question in part. So I believe, and that's what also channels woman of impact is, it starts from the individual, and it starts from how, as an individual, you see yourself before you can really make change with other people. So hence why it's so important as women, and as as ladies, even even as we're growing and nurturing our children, to really pour value into ourselves, see ourselves as valuable, see ourselves as value adding, see ourselves as, you know really work on ourselves as individuals, so that when we are together, we are lighting each other up, we are
yeah.
passing that flame, and again, uplifting each other. But if, as the individual, we don't see ourselves in a positive way, then we're gonna impact that negativity onto other people. And I think that's how it is that domino effect. And you know there probably is a better way of putting it together, but that's really how I see it. So why I say this, so a typical example is, you know, you're planning a holiday with friends, and there's a group of friends, and one person is reading a text message, and they read it wrong, and then they tell this person that this person said this. It all just gets the the message gets lost. Even why the person is upset gets lost, and it really then messes the friendship up. And then that's how they say, oh, women, they don't know how to do things together. But actually, maybe in that moment, that particular person was going through something. They didn't really, they didn't read the message right. I'm just giving a random example, but they were
Yeah.
going through something. They didn't read the message right. They probably had the kids going doing something. Their husband, maybe they had an argument with the husband, and so therefore, in that moment, they said something they weren't meant to say, or they reacted in that way they're not meant to react, and then it just got misconstrued. But what it is when you it's like we need to then have empathy for each other. Like, okay, do you know what, they probably just had a bad day. I'm just gonna lay it, I'm just gonna just park it. Then they don't normally act like this. Or like giving ourselves empathy, loving ourselves, loving as an individual first, loving yourself, so you can able to extend that love to others. That, okay, this person is, and this goes globally, for the world, really. Like, if we share more love and kindness, then we'll be able to react and in ways in a better way. Now, I do say that obviously there are situations where people, do cross the line, and but it's like, really, as individuals, having that personal development, working on how can I improve myself, or if situations do arise, how can I avoid. This is how I kind of function. Is, if I'm involved in a situation that I didn't like or I'm comfortable in, I really take time to assess, how do I avoid that from happening ever again. How can I turn this situation into a positive, so that if I'm facing this situation, I want it to, the outcome needs to be better. And I think if more people take time, especially women, to really assess that, they will there'll be better outcomes in situations, and we won't actually have this stigma around women that, oh, we don't know how to work together and things like that. I also believe that, again, more love, more empathy, as women were, seen as more emotional. We, showing more love and having more forgiveness.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Moradeun, for that. But now,
Yeah.
you're a wellness coach, and you just talked about love, empathy, and trusting one another, being
Mm.
patient with one another, giving each other like excuses. Maybe, okay, she might be sick, she might be having a bad day, she
Mm,
might not be here at the moment. She
mm,
she might have a tangible reason she doesn't want to, talk about. But
mhm,
Morade, when is it that when will you say it's time to say, you know what, for my own sake,
mhm.
we can be friends. I'm going to say hi. I'm going to celebrate your birthday, probably come to your party. But that closeness, that sisterhood, I don't see us on the table anymore. For my own mental health,
Yeah.
for my own sake, I'm talking about. I'll give random example myself. Like when you try, and you really want to make that sisterhood work, you really want bond to be there, but there's this sister that is that is plotting and
Mm,
competitive probably, or just wanting to be the only one.
mm,
I was with a sister, and she's like, okay, you know what can make it work for us as women is that if you are a medical doctor, Moradeun is a pharmacist, I am a broadcaster, she is a
mm.
writer, she's an engineer, she's a community leader, she's a politician. And if we come together, we are all achievers, and then probably with that, no one is feeling superior and no one is feeling inferior. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
actually don't really agree with that. I don't think we because some women are not going to be professionals. They are
yes.
just going to be mothers.
Mhm.
They are going to be home and raise professionals. So does that mean women like that are not going to come to the room? They are not fit to come to the table because they don't have a professional title, because the world has refused to make being a mother a profession. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, I do.
I believe you don't even need a title if we are women and we are sisters, and when we come together, it should work. But at the same time, I think in my going to 48 years now, I have learned in a hard way that the higher you are going, the
Mm,
lesser, smaller your circle becomes, and it is a
mm, mm.
reality. And some of my personal experience, I've even have to grieve, that reduction in my
Mhm,
circle. But
mhm.
Morale, I had to choose me.
Yeah.
So I believe in sisterhood, I believe in empathy, I believe in you know me, I love woman sisterhood, I love, I want us to just do it together for our daughters, for our sons to to see it and be proud of us. That is always
Yeah.
my one of my whys. But Moradin, when can a
Mm.
woman say, you know what, I have to do this for me?
I think choosing you is important all the time. I think, like, on a daily basis, on a minute basis, we have to choose ourselves all the time. Um, Now, I'll go back to what you originally said about what you originally said about being in a sisterhood, and then let's say, for example, you have to love from afar. I think that is also, you know a way of dealing with, you know situations that arise that maybe there's not much unity. I think, like we've just said here, is about loving the person, but actually in this moment, we're not on the same page, we're not on the same platform, we're not seeing the same things, or the same wavelength, as I like to say. So it's okay to love, like you said, send message, send, you know check up on how they are, but it's okay to love from afar, because that person, maybe for the mental health of, my mental health, we were not we're not we're not in alignment. So therefore, I'm going to still love you from afar. And I think that that's healthy, because there's no, you know, malice, so to speak. but it's just life is happening, and we're just going to you know love from afar. And I think that's a it's actually a grace to actually get to that state, because some people may try to force it, but actually other may not be in the right understanding to deal with it. Some people have gone through so much hurt and abuse or trauma, etc., etc. So some things are triggers for them, and I actually needed to learn that, because I'm quite of a lovely, bubbly person. Like, if somebody upsets me, 10 minutes or even 5 minutes later, I'm over it. I'm that kind of person. But actually, with time, life has taught me that actually not everybody is like that. Some people have gone through things that they've been hurt so much, they don't know how to deal with people who, they need more time, so to speak. So I've
Mm.
learned it's okay that some people may not necessarily be as, you know, um as welcoming. Maybe just even that text message alone is enough for them to say, okay, I'm still here. And that comes with healing from trauma, healing from abuse, healing, self-development, understanding what the individual's triggers are, etc., etc., etc. And then going back to now also what you mentioned about sisterhood, and as with life, as how the circle is getting close and smaller. I think as well, in general, like, when you're in certain positions, again, it's just like certain people may not understand that way that the individual is at. And and again, that comes with personal development, because I find, I'll say this story. So one of my sister's friends, I hope they don't listen to this, but maybe they don't know. But she told me that, oh, one of her friends will get upset with her that, oh, she doesn't reply to a message back on time. And I just said to my sister, they don't understand, because if they did, they will know how busy you are. Like, you can't be upset with somebody for not replying the message in on, because we don't know what
In
people
one
are
minute
going.
or 2 minutes.
Yeah, like, there's so much going on nowadays. The phone is
Like, I'm
so,
not monitoring my phone. I'll
yeah,
get to it. No.
like, there's so much. So, but that person was really, really upset, and that proves that that, oh, this person is disrespectful. They're just a simple lack of understanding,
Mhm.
or not able to see things from people's point of view, or even not even knowing how busy life can be for entrepreneurs, or even mothers, or even people in not being able to put yourself in someone's shoes and see, okay, this person actually has a lot going on that we don't know about. So that's why I always come and revert back to always empathy, always love, always putting ourselves in some people's shoes, which it's easy to say,
Mm.
but it really is hard. It's a discipline, and being intentional to actually practicalize, because, and it also takes work, but it's important, because actually that is that is being what humanity is about. It's about loving people, you know, loving people and understanding how to be part of community. So that's why with Women of Impact, and being part of AMDAF and all the different organizations that I am involved in and supporting, and etc., even in my business as well, is I always try to focus on us encouraging and empowering ourselves, because when you know things, you begin to act better, you think better, you work towards doing better for your family and for your community.
Thank you so much, Moradeun. Yeah, now that you mentioned Woman of Impact, I want you to tell us more about that. But I'll let you take maybe take some water or coffee, then
Okay.
invest for 2 sips, and I'll be right back. Thank you, dear listener. You are still
Okay.
listening to Isla and Friends, and I have Moradeun Oduwole with me. She's a pharmacist. She's a coach, health and holistic wellness coach, and she's also a mom, and she's also a lover of God. And when I come back, we are going to talk about that. We are also going to talk about Woman of Impact and other things she does, and then what she is planning maybe where she sees herself in the next 5 years or 10 years or even more.
GoCom Radio, the people's voice.
Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze.
GoCom Radio, the people's voice. GoCom Radio, the people's voice.
You are welcome back, and we are still on Isla and Friends Live. I'm Moradeun Oduwole. It's a friend I'm sitting with today talking about our background, our journey into pharmacy, health and wellness, and women development, community development, and all of that. Welcome back, Moradeun.
Thank you so much for having me, Islamia. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So tell us about Woman of Impact.
Okay, Woman of Impact is a network I've started. I started it in 2023. And basically, at the moment, we just run events. The vision is to basically empower, enlighten, and inspire women to be more and to really work on themselves to fulfill a life of purpose, to fulfill what their God given purpose is. And as I mentioned earlier on the show, I believe in working on the individual, and from there, they'll have impact on their families, and then from there we can impact our community and the outer world. And this is very strong for me. It's focused on different areas of wellness, so such as financial empowerment, health wise, health empowerment, so mental and physical health, education, um, the knowledge on faith based or leading towards a more spiritual faith base, um, focusing on just different areas of wellness on how we can be more. And it really stemmed from a place in my life. So I experienced in 2023 or just before then a period of burnout, and it really even as I'm just reflecting back, it really was a journey that I didn't know I was embarking on, and it came from a place of just going through difficulties in areas of life, so my health, financially, and I also was just like, oh, I really need help. If mentally I really need help, so I really started to work on these particular areas, also fitness wise, and you know it really is a holistic way of working on oneself. And from then I was just really so I share my testimony in my events because it really is a testimony for me, because I said that once I get through this particular stage in life and I make it through, I want to help other people. I said to God, I want to help other people and do the same. And that's what happened. And that's really what birthed Women of Impact. So far, we've had two main events, one in 2023 and one in 2024, which were absolutely amazing. Um, and hoping for now in 2025 to have, to build more of a community, because from Women of Impact, I was able to see how a lot of women really resonated with this and needed somewhere to kind of learn more, because the information is out there. There is knowledge. You can Google, about financial literacy. You can Google, but there's so much, and it's nice to hear it from an expert or professional point of view, but also to get people's experiences as well. And not only that is, especially for so I, like I said, represent as African. I'm from African heritage, even though I was born in England and now live in Ireland. you know, I can see that that knowledge really isn't taught to us. So let's say about the financial literacy it isn't taught in a way that it can help us as we're growing older. It's like your parents may tell people, and this is generalizing. I'm not saying that everybody's like that, but in general, we're not taught these things. We're not really taught how to look after our bodies as women. You just growing up. You're not taught how to really save or how to invest, and that's where it really comes from. Because it's like, how can we do better if we don't know? The knowledge, we have to empower ourselves in order to then apply that in our daily lives and our family lives to be more. How do we know? Mental health is such a big, big, big thing, but what are the signs? What are the how can we improve on our mental health? um you know different family structures, like some people are going through so much and they just keep it in silence, and then you see, sadly, some people have committed suicide, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
it's like it's important to really like know how we can improve on these areas, so that we can actually come out from surviving and actually
And
start to
thrive.
thrive. Yes. Even if we look at I think it's Maslow hierarchy of needs, it's like the basic needs is food, water, shelter. But then one day recently I was looking at it and I was like, a lot of us, if we're keeping it real and actually being realistic, we're still in that bottom line of just surviving on food, shelter, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
how can we
Yeah.
grow? you know you know um a lot of people talk about financial freedom, etc., etc., but how can we really get that financial freedom? We want
Mm.
better health. How can we improve on our health? Especially in a system where it is literally just symptom led. Go to your doctor because you have this particular symptom, but actually let's treat the root cause. So again, that's where Women of Impact stemmed from. So just talk about the different events that we have now. So I would like to build a community of women, so that we can all enlighten and empower ourselves together. So I have now in this year we'll be having different branches across the country, by God's grace, and then to have our main event in October of 2025, where we'll really go deeper and learn more about, like, it's kind of like equipping ourselves for the year, equipping ourselves so that we can look at how we can improve on our finances, our mental, our physical health, our nutrition, family life, femininity, just to touch on how we can get more in touch of us being more of our organic selves, um, and just really work on how we can deal with all of the stresses. And now it's like we're not being reactive to situations, but we're actually being more in control of our emotions. Because another thing is, just to go back, as we touched on, is like women were seen as being emotional, but actually we need to actually learn how to deal with our emotions in
And use that
in
as
our
our strength.
yes, in our
Mm.
homes, in our relationships, with our families, in the workplace, and because so that we can actually now change these narratives that have been put on us, so that we can actually do better, again, all in aid of thriving and being our best fulfilled selves.
Thank you so much, Madam. Thank you so much. You talk about some of the mental health, empowerment, not just surviving but also thriving,
Yeah.
and emotional health as well, and a lot about that the areas that woman of impact is facing. So, in the last 2 years that you've been doing this, what are some of the health challenges or common challenges might not really necessarily be health areas
Mm.
that think that women need that we women will need to actually improve upon that. Okay, based on you are a pharmacist, you are
Yeah.
into wellness and all that. So there are more. I think are there areas that you think that in these areas women we are still far behind.
Yes. I would definitely say when it comes to health, we need to do more about knowing signs of, let's say, for example, like breast checks. So in the last Women of Impact, we had Dr. Monica talk about breast checks and how we should be doing that monthly, and cervical screenings, like going for our cervical screenings and pap smear tests and things like that. Just really just making that more of self-care. And even just answering this question is reminding me of, like, as women as well, because let's say we have our different gifted roles. Some of us are mothers, some of us are, you know what, aunties, what everything to everyone. But we take that time to look after ourselves, and it's actually now re-educating ourselves that actually self-care is very important. And that actually links in with your first question about when I said about it's about the individual. Once when we're doing self-care and engaging in all these things to work on, improve on ourselves, we'll be able to deal with the health issues quicker and earlier and observe them better, so that we can prevent things, rather than it being last minute. And I think that's, so for women it's more about, for the breast checks, cervical screenings, it's things like that. So for example, for women in their in menopausal stage, knowing how to deal with the symptoms and the different, signs of, okay, this is where, I'm at the moment. How do I best deal with day and things like that? So I could go on, but I would say
I,
the main
I
things.
could go on, and I don't even think today, for the first time since we started this show, we don't have enough time because we don't have enough time.
No,
You still have to play my game, and I still have loads of questions. You know, but one of the things I admire about you, this is just about, my show is about my friends, and so if I don't get to serious question, I need to get to the questions about maybe what I admire about you, and that is one of them is you being a mom, and I've seen you, how you love and parents and pamper, and you're a very patient mom. You are not like a typical African mom narrative. I've not seen part of you. And another thing I love about you is your love of God. Whoever knows you just cannot but see that it radiates. It's a You have this calming thing, nature about you, and you also have this weekly come together. Let's do worship and praise. How is the week going to be? Let us empower each other, and all that. So just generally talk to me about your love for God, surprises as a mom, you know, what you love about being a wife, and then we just wrap up and play the game.
okay, wow. Thank you very much. So I'll speak about holistic first. So after Women of Impact, I soon realized that we need to keep the conversation going. So I did set up Holistic Her, which basically is a mini version of Women of Impact, but we run that regularly. So I have weekly power sessions on a Monday morning, and then I have bi-weekly sessions then when we go through different topic areas of goal setting. It's like an accountability membership club. So yes, so that's now intertwined with, so it is again faith based, faith led, and my love for God is just amazing, really, because I think when like one of the speakers in Woman of Impact said that everybody has like, that core, that center of that, that yearning for, something greater, something higher. And that's where it really stemmed for me. Like, I grew up in the church, I was raised in the church, but really my love for God started more as I got older. I began to see, and the way I term it is see God's handwork in my life. That's when I was like, okay, I am actually truly like there is a God. When you begin to see how it's his workings in your life, and so that's really where my love for him, yeah, just stems from. And I'm just very grateful.
And wife quickly.
Oh yeah, so in terms of my wife, yes, I've been married now for, I think, what's it, 3 years now. We've been together for 9 years. We've been married for 3 years. um and yeah, he bless his heart, he's, yeah, marriage is interesting now. I don't know what to say about that, but it definitely is. It's beautiful because each year, each time you
Let's
just
see how beautiful marriage is. Is it
yes,
scary or is it beautiful?
I wouldn't say it's scary, but it definitely is. It's an eye opener because
Hmm.
um I think like it's one of those ones where you need to now, well, I'm of a cultural background where divorce isn't really like, part of, we don't really like say, okay, we want to get divorced. And I don't think anyone goes into marriage thinking that they want to get divorced. You kind of
Mhm.
want to make it work. But you know so it's really about loving each other and forgiving each other every day. And I think that is the beauty of it, is having that person that, you know you're going to love them and you're going to forgive them, and that's where the work really starts. So I always see it this way, that the wedding is just a just enjoyment. That's just the beginning. That's just, like, it's just a time to just spend money. If we're going to look at it that way, the real work is the marriage, and it's
It's
a
a marriage.
it's a beautiful thing. I think there needs to be more conversations on
The
the
other
reality of marriage.
we just talk about being a mom, and then I'll just play the game.
Oh yes, about being a mom. Oh, motherhood is beautiful. Motherhood, I would say that I became when I became a mother. I think myself, Moradeun, actually came out when I became a mother. Um, like, motherhood is beautiful. It's blissful. It definitely is. Another eye opener, because again, we're not really taught how to be mothers. I don't think you can really teach on
We
how
don't
to be
have any
mothers.
templates.
Yeah, there's no template. No, there's no. You just have to. You learn as you go. But what's
Learn
important
on the
is
job.
being around the right people, to help in that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Moradin. I wish we had more time, but then
No.
it's great. Our conversation today has been very like factual. We have been able to keep it real, and I
Yes.
really love that. And I really
Thank
love that.
you.
What is the next thing for you before we play the game?
Whew, the next thing for me, well, more to do with health and wellness. I'm really looking to health and wellness coaching now. Woman of Impact is, just to expand that and see how it will grow. I really want to start looking into helping younger women as well, because I think as well, yes, we're helping the women who probably are from 20 and up, but really looking into the younger women as well, age 12 and up, or female, should I say. um and yeah, so really, that's really it. I have so many ideas and things I want to do.
People can follow you on Instagram.
Yes,
and they
thank
can
you.
follow your work, follow your progress, be part of your program. And Moradeun Oduwole is your name on Instagram.
Yes.
And she also helps with booking hotels and
Yes.
Airbnb, wherever you want to go to. Just leave all the hard work to Moradeun. She will help you find the place, and you will love it. And
Mm.
before I let you go, will you pick number 1 to 10? And I'll read a question from the card, and that is the game on the show. And I cannot let you go without doing this.
Okay, number 7.
Number 7 is saying, okay, what is one thing that people will be surprised to know about you? I didn't know this about you. Probably 80% of people in your lives do not even realize this about you. You are saying it for the first time on Islam Friends.
Okay. I love music. I love to sing.
Oh, good.
That's probably one thing. I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, I love music and I love to sing. I don't really talk about that as much. And yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you plan to do anything entrepreneurial with music?
Um, I
Is
wouldn't.
is it a deep, or it is just hobby when you are in the bathroom, or when your daughter or your son needs to go to sleep? When do you
Oh,
sleep?
um, I would say I would always take up any opportunity to be involved in any choir. Again,
Mhm.
my love for community, being a part of a choir is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, so if the opportunity arises, I probably will be there.
You will take it up. And that's a surprise for me. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know that
Yeah,
you actually love music. So
yeah.
that's it on the Isla and Friends Live today. I am sure you enjoyed yourself. You learned a lot because I did. We have taught a lot. And if you are a woman, or if you have a woman in your life, I'm sure you have been able to pick a thing or two or even more on the show today. If that is the case, why not join me again next time when I'll be bringing another friend of mine to, talk about their journey, and we'll share, insights and see how that goes. And, and you can also going forward be part of the friendship and be their friends. You can start by being Moradeun friends by following her on Instagram and being part of Woman of Impact. And she's also into traveling, booking flights, booking hotel, and all that. And she's someone that you can always count on. She never disappoints, and she will always be there for our own people. And thank you so much. My name remains Islamia Sodi Kadejo. You call me the radio girl. And like I always say, love yourself, believe in yourself, take good care of yourself all the time, pamper yourself, take yourself seriously. Never accept anyone's definition of you. Forgive yourself if you have to, and keep yourself safe. And always remember to smile. Smile is therapy, smile is charity, and smile is love. Good afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.
GoCom Radio, the people's voice.
Ilondoloze